It's me again, and this one has been a bit of a saga. Let's talk about it. So I initially got this body that had this neck on it, but I kind of knew that this neck was going to be trash. It's from an old 1980s Yamaha Pacifica, which if you're looking for a guitar, those are great guitars, but that one had just been a while. I did the whole fingerboard treatment, worked on the frets, all that kind of stuff. It was good for my practice, but ultimately it's just warped too much over the years. So I then put this one on it, which turned out to be a total Facebook Marketplace scam. I met up with the dude selling this, and he fully disclosed, this is not a real Fender Stratocaster neck. But it's awesome, it's solid, it's got tuning machines. I think they're Wilkinson's, which is a decent brand. And the one thing I asked him was, how is the truss rod? You can see this little hole right here. That controls, essentially, a metal rod that runs the length of the neck. And what that controls is when you put string tension on it, it's a little bit like an archer's bow that can tend to curve the neck. So there's a metal rod that runs through the neck that you can tighten, and it straightens it back out. My one question to this guy was, how's the truss rod? He was like, oh yeah, super solid. He was lying. This is for him. I got it home, installed it, tried to adjust it. It was completely seized. The hex head was totally stripped out. And also, I don't know if you can see these tuning machines properly enough, but once I attached strings to them, they started pulling out of the headstock as well. So I had a few words with the guy. Shocking, he blocked me. But the dude knew he was scamming, as evidenced by the fact that he has a number of completed sales that are all still listed on his seller profile on Facebook Marketplace. But this sale, the second he had my money, he got back in his car and he deleted the listing instead of marking it as sold. And what that did was that meant that I couldn't rate him, and it also doesn't show in his sales history. So dude knew what he was doing. Live and learn. I got. Ultimately, end of the day, I'm out $70, which is what I paid him for this. So bummer. But I wasn't super keen on giving up on the project yet. Right? I'm already, at this point, a couple $100 into this guitar. So I at least want a functional guitar out of it. So I went to Amazon and ordered a cheap baritone scale neck. So baritone is a little bit longer of a neck. It can support thicker strings, and you can tune it lower than a standard guitar, which makes it a little bit more unique. I'd already made the guitar a little bit unique by putting this vibrato tailpiece on it. The brand name that it's a knockoff of is Bigsby. I've demonstrated that in other videos before, but had already put that on it, working great, and so I was pretty stoked to make it continually something that evolves into an even more unique piece. So got this baritone neck. Now the neck itself came unfinished. It was just raw wood. So I had to sand it nice and smooth. And then I got a product called True Oil. And this just is technically made for gun stocks, unfinished wood to seal them up from the weather. So what you got to do, you apply it, you sand it down, you apply another coat, you sand it with a finer grit, which makes it successively smoother and smoother. And eventually you get a nice satiny finish, and it's fully sealed. So that's great. But then you got to attach it. You got to attach the neck to the guitar. I'm speaking in reflections. It's awesome. And in order to do that, you want to make sure you are very, very straight on with a drill, because all of these angles and all of this trigonometry matters. I am not a woodworker, really. I don't really have a wood shop. I don't have a drill press, but I was able to get one of these guys. This is the Drill Mate, and it's basically a little jig that holds your handheld drill and keeps it super, super level if you're going to be making any guitar holes, which I definitely was. So I was able to drill these 4 bolt holes, and that worked well. I also used it to drill the holes for the tuning machines. And those tuning machines were actually in the original POS neck, that one there, that Yamaha neck. Whoa, it's so crappy, it's super grainy. I also replaced the nut here, which is basically what the strings wrap over, which makes that the fulcrum point for the string vibration. Back here doesn't matter so much. Down here on this side of the nut really does. And the material that the nut is made out of kind of affects how the strings vibrate. So what came on the crappy generic neck was pretty well known to be poor quality. So I got one, a Tusk, T-U-S-Q, basically fake bone nut here. So now we've got this whole long boy, and it's pretty great. So the strings are still stretching out, they're brand new. I would imagine the neck has a little bit of settling to do still, so tuning isn't super stable yet. I'm hoping that's not an issue with the Bigsby itself, but check it out.